Thank you, Joe. $6.50 that winner was to we loaded up. The message that I'm trying to bring to you is very similar to my German colleagues, just probably in a different wrapping. It's bringing people, our philosophy at Fox Sports is bringing people closer to the game, bringing them right in, making them feel what the experience is like on the sporting arena. You're not going to see anything of racing here with me today because Fox Sports doesn't cover racing in Australia. There are 4 dedicated racing channels on the Foxtel subscription platform in Australia. We leave it to them. But what you don't want is your sport falling behind in technology, in the idea of point of view, as our German friend said. We just call it closer to the game. And the idea is that we do it with a number of ways because we have a smaller population in Australia and therefore less money than our colleagues in Europe and the United States. But we've come up with some innovative ways to bring people closer to the game and yet not cost a fortune in doing it. Have a look at this video.
There it is! Adam Scott! Oh, great goal by Brett Holman! Just what Australia needed!
Fox Sports Australia is the network to turn to for the best live experience from the biggest sporting events in Australia and the world. Giving us the prominent edge is our ability to innovate.
The Octocopter.
This device allows us to drive above and around play without the costly setup of other cable cameras.
RefCam.
It engages you to run with the referee's viewpoint, never missing a player's reaction.
Foxmobile.
Its light mobility and speed allows to run with play uninterrupted.
Corner post cam.
Its technology and size is placed at the centre of any close decision to get you even closer to the game as Australia's sports leader.
It is important to innovate, to give fans an insight into sport. The more they understand the sport they're watching, the more they enjoy it. Give them a new perspective, new angles. Get them on that couch and not looking to use the remote. Perhaps the second screen, yes, but not the remote. Don't change off. Grip them and hold them. It's about the emotion again and the attraction of sport. The idea of ours is the best seat in the house. The best seat in the house was once considered with slight elevation on the halfway mark of a sporting event. Our best seat in the house is your comfiest chair in your own home. And we'll bring you right there. We'll take you right into the arena and bring you as close as we possibly can. The Foxmobile is simply a steady cam on a Segway. Operated, doesn't affect playing fields, doesn't affect surfaces, and can get right in next to players as they walk onto the arena and walk off the arena, surround them, give you fluidity in motion, keep up to speed with things like racehorses and athletes, and it's now used across all our Fox Sports with the permission of the sporting bodies and the groundsmen who are very precious about their surfaces. We call it the Foxcopter. It's actually called an Octocopter. We introduced it in 2012 across a domestic cricket program called the Big Bash League, 2020 League. It took us a while to get civil aviation approval to fly over crowds. Everyone was a bit nervous about it, but that was achieved, and it now is used in all our sports that we possibly can, and we just introduced it into surfing. In fact, one went into the drink only a couple of weeks ago at Bells Beach in Australia during a professional surfing event. That wasn't a great moment, but no one got hurt. Have a look at the Foxcopter. You can own one of those for $20,000. They're not expensive. They give you the effect of Spider-Cam, and I think you're all probably familiar with Spider-Cam, but Spider-Cam's got to have wires to run on, and you can't wire a lot of things. And it's very expensive. But ownership of that is very cheap. And there's a variety of cameras that you've seen earlier that you can put on it, including GoPros, which are only $200 at a duty-free shop. It's a very, very cheap way to get your aerials and your scenics, and it's a very effective way. It has no downdraft. It has no noise. It has a flying time, battery time of 20 minutes to go. We usually only run it for 5 minutes at a time just to err on the side of safety. It's a very, very cheap way. And the pictures are a lot better than the generation of those pictures just showed you then. And it's been embraced. That's the important thing by conservative organisation like cricket boards and NRL boards and Australian Football League boards. Corner post, ref cam is something I think you're seeing something and you're trialling it now, I know, at Hong Kong. We did it to put people on the field. I included it even though we've come a long way since this vision, and in fact we're getting a brand new stabilised, miniaturised camera for referees' heads from Germany within a week. But to have a look at some of the things that ref cam bring you on a rugby film.
Stephen out!
Play advantage. Held up, scrum.
Crouch! Touch! Sit!
Sorry, hey. Sorry, mate, I didn't mean to push you. I was trying to get there.
Can we make sure we have time to...
Yeah, all I want is you just control your gap, okay?
If we say...
You okay, big fella?
If that's not bringing you closer to the game, I don't know what is. That's like being out there. Very much like being out there. Again, these aren't expensive innovations. We average around 25 live sporting broadcasts each weekend in Australia. We can't afford expensive things to put on all our sports. Live wiring, you saw a bit of that earlier. Bringing people onto the field and getting to hear from the athlete as he's performing, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Let's have a look at Shane Warne in action.
And McCullum 36. What about to McCullum, Shane?
He might be trying to shake a sweet one after that first one, or maybe even go inside out again a bit harder, so I might try and slide one in there fast.
Well, you called it.
Try and sweep too,
Yeah, that worked pretty well.
Not bad, BJ?
Yes, mate.
Thanks, mate.
How's the rotator cuff?
Not bad, thanks, BJ.
Can I go straight up for Forest?
Straight up for Forest, yeah. I reckon he might nick one or short cover into there to bear. That's Roy's the king. Brilliant work from Shane Warne, and predicted. The Warne boxers cheering. Everyone's happy.
Oh, to be Shane Warne. The athlete tells you what he's going to do, does it, and then has Elizabeth Hurley waiting for him at the end of the game. There's only one Warnie. But it puts you on the field with him, almost like a teammate. He's telling you what he's going to do. There's nothing like that, seeing that happen. The live wiring of athletes, picture in picture with them talking about what they're doing, all these things are, you want your sport there at the cutting edge of this, with the involvement and the interaction of your audience to bring them right in and keep them in. Broadcast graphics, there's new development. We've gone heavily onto our virtuals and heavily onto our 3D virtuals, which is something that I think racing is an information industry, and graphically, if you can explain your information with clear, distinct, and clever graphics, it's only going to help people who are watching what you're doing. It's an important thing, graphics, and I see a bit of graphics, particularly around this region, which are good, but I'd spend more time and more money on them. if I were you. And graphics, they're not that expensive either. The last thing is work with your television people, not against them. There are occupational health and safety issues, we all understand that, and particular racing can be, it's a high risk game, particularly for jockeys, but work with them. Make your participants aware of what they're needed to sell their product and sell themselves, and work with your television companies in order to let them inside and get up close to people and bring that experience back into the home and let them understand the sport much, much more by hearing from the athletes themselves directly and, when possible, live. It does generate buzz. I mean, any innovation generates buzz. If they think you're going to see something different, from a different angle, from a closer angle, it gets you publicity and noise and interest. Now, last thing is, everyone loves an app, right? We put an app up called Best Seat in the House. It was run from a remote 360 camera, which you could operate from your second screen, your iPad, your mobile, if you wanted to. These are not expensive again, and they don't need to be manned. You can stick them in the middle of a parade ring, and someone who's sitting at home can just move his iPad around to have a look at the horses as they go around and concentrate on the horse he likes. Just have a look at this. This is a little example of it.
What is it?
Looks like some sort of camera.
I've never seen anything like it.
Fox Sports 360 Cam is here. Now when you're watching the game, just go to the Fox Sports NRL app to experience a view like never before.
It's across field. There are plenty of South Sydney players there.
Go behind the scenes, down onto the bench and into the crowd. With 360 Cam, you've got the best seat in the house. Don't miss Fox Sports 360 Cam this Saturday, Seagulls versus Storm.
Pretty easy that to set up, pretty easy to do. Things to come, I'd like to know that too. 4K cameras, tracers, all that sort of stuff is coming. I think companies like Rydell can tell you more about that than I can. It's simply to me a matter of don't let your sport fall behind when it comes to technology and innovative pictures, and getting closer to the action and involving your viewer much more intensely emotionally. Very simple. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thanks, Benji.